All right, what's up, everybody? Party people. Today is August 12th. It's Wednesday. This is Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. And if you're here to get the top cyber news stories of the day while engaging with like-minded professionals who are all about support, inclusion, empowerment, and basically starting your day off proper, governor, then you're in the right place. Get your coffee, get settled. We're off and running on this beautiful Wednesday morning. What's up, everybody? Good morning. A couple people in chat saying jump scare. That is hilarious. I don't know, dude. I have no idea. This show is on its own. It's got its own personality, and it's just I'm here for the ride alongside you guys. Good morning, everybody. Over the next hour, you're going to be delighted and treated to the 8 top cyber stories of the day. I'll give you the headline and the surface level, of course. But then I'm going to put on a miner's helmet, turn on the light. I'm going to look like Zoolander from that meme where he's striding down the coal mine. And I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to mine into each story. I'm going to give you additional value and go beyond those headlines in order to empower you to be the best CISO, the best director, the best vulnerability management analyst, the best detection engineer. Wherever it is that you want to take your career, if it's in cybersecurity, I got your back. So we'll do that. As always, I'm joined by the Simply Cyber community right above me. Shout out to those names that are in green or blue. Simply Cyber squad members supporting the cause and taking full advantage of those extra special emote trays. If you're interested, check out the Simply Cyber squad membership below on YouTube. Why is it so exciting to have them join us? Because not only do I give additional insights and value, but collectively we have thousands of years of industry experience in the chat, and everybody is sharing their own perspective and their own tips, tricks, and techniques. And honestly, we haven't seen, there's nobody dropping anything stupid or malicious or deceptive in chat. And if there is, we basically not inoculate, but we self-police and clean it up. So it's all about good things. Wayne Shaw over on LinkedIn. Wayne, what's cracking? Of course, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is an instructor-led webinar at the end of the day. So every episode is worth half a CPE. This is the official website for the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. You can find it at cyberthreatbrief.simplycyber.io. You'll notice across the top it says CPE. That is an acronym for Continuing Professional Education Credit. And what we like to do here is give you value. So every episode is worth half a CPE. If you'd like to capture those CPEs and make it super easy to submit it to your cybersecurity certification bodies, go to cyberthreatbrief.simplycyber.io/CPE. There are links in the description below. If you're watching on replay or listening on your audio podcast app of choice, maybe you're in the car, maybe you're cooking an omelet right now, holler. I do love some, dude, I secretly, it's so Gen Z, but whatever. Toast with like a smear of avocado, a bunch of everything seasoning, and a fried egg on top. Get out of my way. I'm going to knock a child over to get to that piece of, that plate of food, all right? Getting back to, I don't know why I just derailed there. CPEs, put in your name, email address, couple check boxes, hit this yellow button. That is the entire workflow. You probably could have AI do it for you at this point. At the end of the month, I, Two Thumbs, host of this show, Dr. Gerald, Auger, will email you through an automated script. I will email you a list of all the days you were here alongside certification attestation. So that's basically what's up, dude. It's super easy, super clean, and it's, oh my God. I am getting dunked on for my age right now in mod chat. I am not that old. Okay, holla. Holla, 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 holla. All right, guys. Hey, if you're here for the first time, shout out to you. Shout out to you. So, Code Brew says avocado toast in this economy. I will tell you, you can buy like 30 avocados at, I'm being hyperbolic. The other day, we bought 6 avocados at Costco, a bag of avocados for the price of one avocado at a grocery store. So I felt like I was getting a, like an 87% discount. So, that maths for me. All right. All right. So if you're here for the first time, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Drop a hashtag first timer in chat. And we'll welcome you. We have special sound effects. We have a special emote. I'm going to tee it up now. Welcome to the party, pal. So if you are here for the first time, let us know. All right. Let us know so we can welcome you, Papa Governor, into the chat. I want to say hello and good morning. I want to say good morning to DJ Bisek, who's awfully feisty this morning, making fun of me for being old and confirming that there is a way to automate your CPE experience for recording those things. What's up, AA Witherspoon? Good to see you. Guys, I just want to take a hot minute and say hello to the folks in chat. The Slimy Show at the Slimy Show. Hold on now. At the Slimy Show. Community, can we do it here? Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party, pal. Also, looks like Young Yellow Boy. Young, Y-U-N-G. Young Yellow Boy here for the first time. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party, pal. What's up, Young Yellow Boy and the Slimy Show? Love it, love it, love it. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you enjoy the experience. We do this every single weekday morning and have for over 1,193 episodes. 4 or 5 years. Striving to get to 6-7 years of experience. Blah, whatever. Okay, listen. The show's not possible without the stream sponsors. Inevitably, they are what allows us to bring the heat to you. Guys, we got just a few days left here. 2 days, 1 hour, 50 minutes, 38 seconds. You want to learn how to secure the future that's already here? Boom, baby, boom. It's called InfoSec Age of AI Summit. Anti-Siphon's putting it on this Friday, 10 a.m., 4:30 p.m., 6.5 hours. Some of the industry's best practitioners. This is explicitly around the intersection of cybersecurity and AI. And no, it's not just another story of AI breaking out and attacking someone. This is actually practical utility of AI. You want to be a blue teamer? Boom. Hayden Covington's got your back, building custom agents that survive first contact. You a software developer? Ethan Robish has got you agentic coding that doesn't fall apart. Perhaps you're into pen testing. How about a live demo where automation meets manual testing for offensive securities? I love it. Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps you're a threat intelligence analyst. Would you like to hunt shadow AI? Done. They got you covered. And for the GRC people in there, straight answers on AI from a panel that is a who's who in cybersecurity. BB King, Jason Haddix, John Strand, and more. Hello. This is free. Oh, what? Yep. Confirming it is free to sign up. It's this Friday. You don't want to miss it. I'll be there for what it's worth. If you like my style and you like my commentary in Discord, then you'll like this. I am a chatty Cathy when it comes to these summits. Looking forward to it. I also want to say holler. Whoa, all right. Want to say holler to Threat Locker. Dude, Threat Locker, long time partner of Simply Cyber. I really appreciate what they do, not only because they financially support the show and allow me to bring this to you every single day, but also their products are helping organizations and business combat cybercrime in a wild way. They are essentially zero trust. They don't trust anything. Any binaries that run not on their watch. Allow only list, which is incredibly difficult to achieve without impeding business operations. ThreatLocker's got the sauce. Go to threatlocker.com. Check it out now. Stop exploits before they run, guys. Custom malware, polymorphic malware, the kind of malware that reassembles itself on the endpoint, malware that's delivered through the cloud, malware that lays dormant, Trojan malware. Nope. Zero success. Get out of my face, says ThreatLocker. Go to threatlocker.com. Links in the description below. Every single day of the week, guys, has a special segment. Slimy Show, Young Yellow Boy. Today's Wednesday, means Wayback Wednesday. We are going to go back in the Wayback Machine and look at an older piece of technology that the people with gray in their hair, like this guy, you see this gray? That isn't just for men, gray version, so I appear older. I am gray. In fact, my son's name is Grayson, and it like deliberately because he's the son of a gray-haired man, right? It's not a coincidence why my son's named Grayson. All right. So for us olds, we get nostalgic. For you youngs, it's coming back again anyway. So you youngs, you Gen Zs, you Joseph Caddens of the world, we got you covered on what's going to be hot next season. All right, guys, do me a favor. I need you all to relax. Actually, first sit back, okay? Sit back, relax, and just let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of you in an awesome wave. I also want everyone to know, stay tuned, because there's a hidden show. What? Yes, I'm that terrible at promoting that one of our more popular programs I bury at the end of a show that you cannot get to this program any other way than plowing through the daily cyber threat brief. Cyber Career Hotline, 9 a.m. Eastern, 45 minutes from now, a 30-minute AMA. You have any questions? You're going to get answers immediately live. This show can't stop, won't stop. Let's get into the news. Holla, as they've said.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
By the way, before we go any further with the news, what's up, Kyle? What's up, Plastic? 1983, my guy, Marcus Kyler. Cyber Eddie's in the house. TJ, what up, dude? Brown Coyote screaming AMA from the top of his lungs. Elliot Mattice, Phil Stafford, Sierra Montgomery's in here. I'm sure the whole Left Coast crew representing. Tasha Miles, always great to see you. Code Brew representing the upstate or Midlands. I always get confused with Code Brew. I think it's Midlands because I said upstate for like years. Mara Levy, let's go.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, August 12th, 2026. I'm Sarah Lane. Water systems get a federal cyber lifeline. Senators Adam Schiff and Amy Klobuchar introduced the Water Cyber Shield Act, which would give the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, explicit authority to assess water system cybersecurity, enforce fixes, and set standards with both CISA and the National Institute of Standards and Technology, otherwise known as NIST. It would also authorize $300 million per year for water infrastructure upgrades. Separately, the new Water Watch Center will provide managed detection and response to small utilities serving fewer than 10,000 people, which make up 91% of the U.S.'s roughly 50,000 community water systems.
All right, this is cool. Hey, mods, can you do me a quick math check? Can you figure out if there's 50,000 community water systems? Can you do the math on like if you divide 300 million by 50,000, how much does each group get? Is it 60,000 or 600,000? Please let me know in mod chat or in chat. Okay, so listen. I like this. Now that Justin Crypto doesn't work in water anymore, J Mod, for those who don't know Justin Gold, he used to work in the water space. is hilarious now that he's gone. This thing gets fully funded. $60,000. Thank you, TJ. So $60,000. Like, again, anything helps. All right. So I'm not going to poo-poo this. Anything helps. But if I gave, we get wrapped around the axle around $300 million. Whoa. But if you actually stop and look at the math and how it maths, 91% of organizations are 10,000. What is it? Hold on. Right here. 91% of the nation's roughly 50,000 community water systems have fewer than 10,000 people being served. Like, that's their community, okay? So they're effectively like small businesses, which means they have very low resources. They're probably asking multiple people to do multiple jobs. They likely don't have money for tech refresh, etc. So you're going to give them $60,000. Like, that doesn't really move the needle. Again, I get it. It's $300 million. All right. I get it's $300 million, and that sounds like a lot of money. And I don't want to get political, right? Because this turns into how do we spend taxpayer dollars, and how much would, how many water systems would get supported, if we allocated money that's going to other initiatives. But 60 grand isn't going to make a world of, stop it. DJ Bisek is saying $6,000. 300 million divided by 50,000 is 6,000, not 60,000. So this is even stupider. Okay, dude. Like, listen. If I gave you individually $6,000, holla, like or holla, if I will. That's like a great tax return. Like, woo, we're going for steak dinners tonight, maybe some avocado toast. But like, you're not moving for $6,000. You're not, maybe you put a fence in, right? Maybe you buy some closed circuit TV cameras for your house. Maybe you upgrade a couple pieces, like two computers in your house. All right. Let's translate that to these water plants, these utilities that are critical infrastructure. Say you've got 15 people working there. $6,000, you can replace two people's computers. Maybe you can replace one router. Maybe you can buy one cheap Fortinet firewall. You know what I mean? Like, you're not getting a full tech refresh for $6,000. So like, this is great political theater. But, I'm just not sure how well, I don't know what kind of impact this is truly going to have. Now, having said that, I do want to point out, like, if you haven't been paying attention, China and Iran have been absolutely wearing U.S. water critical infrastructure like a pair of pants the last 3 months, right? And if you think I'm being salacious, Iranian cyber water attacks, there we go, are hacked. Right here, 3 hours ago, are hacks of the U.S. water facilities a new front in the Iran war? NPR News. China. Cyber water attacks. Chinese state-sponsor actors, notably Volt Typhoon, have extensively targeted U.S. critical infrastructure, including drinking water and wastewater systems. I'm not making this up, guys. And by the way, can I just point out, this is 1,000% why you have to stay current on cyber news daily, because you don't have the the longitudinal data set mentally to access quickly to know that this right here, this isn't really addressing the threat. Again, okay, so I'm sorry, give me a second. The whole point of the story is that the U.S. water systems is getting some money and some focus and some attention. Great. The money and focus isn't really enough to move the needle, which is actually buried in the headline and requires critical analysis to see the truth of this story. But I digress. Let it go. Super pumped that it's getting some focus. Better than nothing. Now, let me tell you this. As a GRC card-carrying member, I want you to know the following. People are like, oh, GRC, you're so lame. Let me tell you what we get paid to do at GRC. And if you wear multiple hats or you're thinking about GRC or you're a CISO, oh my God, if you're an aspiring CISO, get ready for this lesson. Okay? In fact, I'm going to try to make this a short. Okay? Kimberly, listen. To be effective at GRC, one of the most valuable skills that you can have is being able to understand how to allocate resources, specifically money. You do allocate time and people as well, but money is a big one. When we're talking about protecting the U.S. water systems and critical infrastructure, and you're given $6,000 in budget, if you look at the current threat landscape, maybe $6,000 5 years ago was fine. It's not really going to move the needle, but $6,000 is fine. In the last 6 months, Iran has escalated cyber attacks on U.S. critical water infrastructure. China has increased attacks, specifically like Volt Typhoon. The threat landscape has changed. There are nation state threat actors, like very, very sophisticated, very, very well funded, very, very talented threat actors targeting that area. So when you're thinking about spending money and allocating it, you should increase, because effectively the likelihood variable in the likelihood impact formula, the basic formula for risk, that likelihood is gone way up. The impact hasn't changed so much. You could technically say the impact gets a little deeper because of the sophistication of the threat actor, but for the most part, the likelihood is going way up because the threat actor has the skill and the time to just hammer on those systems. So resource allocation should increase to be commensurate with that threat level going up. That is what GRC really does. We look at threat, we look at threat modeling, we look at the threat landscape that's constantly changing. It's dynamic, which is why we have to stay current every day. And then we make decisions that help us defend and reduce risk to acceptable levels based on those dynamic factors. $6,000 from the U.S. government to each of the 50,000 U.S.-based water systems, mostly which are privatized, not going to really have an impact. Looks great on paper, $300 million. Get a Cessna airplane pulling one of those signs behind it that just screams $300 million. Like when the rubber hits the road, not really impactful. I hope that they can make a compelling case to use that money to basically get things moving and get more money, get the momentum.
Hackers jump into Polish power plant. Hackers breached a small Polish combined heat and power plant through a private access point name, or APN. That's a cellular data network used to connect industrial sites. After compromising a wind farm, they took advantage of missing client isolation, default controller credentials, and an exposed web interface to reach the plant's operational network. They shut down a steam turbine and water treatment system, but staff restored operations quickly, and the roughly 50,000 residents served by the plant weren't affected.
All right. Polish energy plant, another critical infrastructure organization. So if you're not paying attention, critical infrastructure is, what's the word I'm looking for? Critical to society. It's not critical to me as like a business owner. It's critical to society. All right. We just talked about water, which is one of the critical infrastructures. And by the way, you listening to my voice right now are like 80% water. So water is definitely critical. Energy, also critical. This light right here doesn't work without energy. This stream doesn't work. Now, granted, I'm willing to lose this light if there's a hot infographic on screen.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
But for the most part, threat actors are getting after critical infrastructure. This has never been a better time to get into OT ICS protections. Let's see what they did. Geez, Poland. I guess Poland's getting caught up in the Russia-Ukrainian war as like an ally to the allies or whatever, Western governments. Do we have a name right now, or are we still called the allies? This is a little bit ignorant. I know that the new one of the new factions is BRICS, right? Which is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And they've added more countries, but BRICS was the OG, so they did that. I don't know I guess we're just like Five Eyes or Western governments. All right, Polish shirt gets the call. Let's see. Misconfiguration that allowed arbitrary devices within the private VPN network to communicate with one another. All right, so this is what poor network configuration looks like. Guys, if you've heard the term flat network, that's what this is. It says misconfiguration, but like honestly, sounds less like network segmentation is not a configuration. Listen, when I hear the word misconfiguration, I think of like toggling on or off, right? Can people connect from the internet? Yes or no? Is it allow UPnP connections? Yes or no? That's a configuration in my mind. Having a flat network versus a segmented network with VLANs, that's not a configuration. That's an architecture decision. All right. So just immediately, I'm calling shenanigans on this one. By the way, this is another example where, like, if you don't know what these terms mean, you just kind of read it at face value. I mean, threat actor would have to be connected to the network, so they obviously compromise somebody's creds, or very likely compromise somebody's creds, got in, and then were able to move laterally. This is basically a escalation of the cyber kill chain, moving laterally within the environment. As no surprise, I just said Russia-Ukraine war. They think it's the Russian Electrum threat group. Sounds like a Spider-Man villain. Let's see. Nice job. Hey, way to go, Poland. Dude, Polish people in the 80s, dude, Polish people were getting absolutely slandered with like Polish jokes. Poland, 2026, my guy, able to thwart off an OT ICS attack. Get on this, dude. Dude, they were able to wipe Windows systems, corrupt OT, and still the Polish energy sector was able to continue energy generation and distribution. This is not easy, by the way, dude. When you absolutely destroy technology in an environment and you're still able to persist, let's go. I do want to point out that they probably did tabletop exercises and discovered what the critical paths were, mission critical. There's a term in GRC called business impact analysis. You may have heard it. A lot of people misunderstand what it is. Business impact analysis is an activity where you go through as a cyber professional, as a GRC person. Actually, let me do another short here, trying to make some more content for everybody. Listen, business impact analysis is something that everybody needs to understand. A lot of people get it wrong. A business impact analysis is an activity typically executed by a GRC professional, a CISO or whatnot, where you must interface with the business, right? A lot of people do it wrong because they just do it internally and they have no idea. The cybersecurity department needs to partner with the business to understand what are the mission critical workflows. Typically, how do we make money around here, right? How do we serve our mission? But realistically, it's all about straight cash, homie, right? Maybe email isn't mission critical. Maybe mission critical is, basically making widgets on the manufacturing line, right? As long as the manufacturing line is printing out widgets, this company's making straight cash, homie, right? Maybe you're an online store. And if that store is not online, you're not making money. You don't know as a cyber professional. We depend on the business to tell us, and then we work backwards with partnering through IT to understand what piece of supporting infrastructure, what accounts, what third-party vendors, what is the ecosystem of things that are minimum viable in order to deliver on whatever that critical mission process is so we can make money. That's the deal. That is business impact analysis. It's an incredibly valuable skill. It's an incredible valuable practice. And it's most important to communicate to the business upfront when you do a BIA what the end goal is. So then they are more open and receptive to telling you the full workflows. The real trick, just as a bonus tip, the real trick with a BIA is almost everybody in the business is going to think that their process is mission critical because everybody wants to think that they're super special. You gotta get all that information and then go up one level and ask the executives which ones are actually mission critical and revenue generating. All right. Anyways, Poland right here, straight crushed it. This is not anything new. Basically, Russia's been dorking with different countries that are supporting Ukraine for quite a while. What they did was they compromised oh my God, real Bilbo, line 2. They compromised a FortiGate VPN firewall.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
At a wind farm. By the way, Daniel Lowry is in the house. Welcome to Daniel Lowry. Classic attack. The attacker found a Wago PFC 200 PLC at the CHP plant. Who hasn't done that a few times in college? You know what I mean? I'm joking. I've never heard of that tech stack before. My point is, dude, you can find anything on the internet with Shodan, and if it's not properly protected, there you go. Dude, this thing is ICS OT all day. They access the SCADA interface. They got into Siemens PLCs. They put it into stop mode and shut down the steam turbine. This is great. Now, this infograph is kind of lame, but I'll allow it. You can see on this, by the way, if you're listening on audio only, I just want to tell you that it has the kill chain. They found a wind farm with an online VPN gateway, probably for engineers to remote in to support the thing. Once they got into that, they pivoted over to a cellular router. That router got them onto the private network. And then they were into the plant, right? So like I said, basically, there's probably an engineer at a plant that's trying to service all these remote wind turbines, and the wind turbines have to report in. That network path was compromised. If you work in this environment, I know it's not simple, but my guy, can we put some detections around network traffic coming from remote sites into the main mothership? I don't know. Taking crazy pills today.
Cyber attacks knock local governments offline. A malware attack on Suisun City, California, that's just northeast of San Francisco, forced officials to shut down the city's IT network and reroute 911, police, and fire calls through the county. Seems to be a trend, though. Local governments in Oklahoma, South Dakota, Texas, and Wisconsin also disclosed attacks over the past week, disrupting computers, payment services, phone lines, and other public operations. Emergency services remained available in the affected communities.
All right, here we go. It must be like for those who wanted to do bingo. I think your bingo, this is the critical infrastructure bingo day. Local government, technically, critical infrastructure. Hold on, critical infrastructure sectors. Chemical, commercial, communication, critical manufacturing, defense, industrial base. There we go. Government facilities. I knew it. All right. So here's our third story, our third critical infrastructure. Local government down. I repeat, local government down. My guy, can I tell you why local government's down? Same reason that $6,000 for wastewater local municipality treatment plants isn't going to move the needle. Local governments don't have, dude, first of all, despite what we're seeing at the federal government level, which again, catch me outside when I'm not on a politically agnostic live stream, and I'll tell you what I think about the government spend and the allocation of resources and how it's just perverse. But local governments are a nonprofit, right? So they raise your taxes. You're not going to like that. So then they got to, whatever they have for taxes, that's what they do for all the things, right? Paying salaries, paying for infrastructure upgrades, your roads, the police, etc. So they're basically not making a lot of money, which means they don't have the pleasure of hiring a pen testing red team to work full time. They typically have a couple IT people. They're asked to do more with less. I'm friends with a couple county CIOs, and I've talked to them, dude. It's gross. Talk to, well, you can't really talk to them, but I have a friend who works, well, actually, I have two friends now that work in the South Carolina, essentially like critical infrastructure group that help local municipalities deal with stuff. And those guys are busier than a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so local government is a soft target. When I say soft, I'm talking to like a dumpling that hasn't been thrown into the fryer later yet. This thing is like you touch it and the dent doesn't come out. They're dealing with cyber attacks left, right, and center. 4 states dealing active attacks. I bet you there's more than 4 states. We got 50 plus some territories. Those numbers are not accurate. We're actively involved in multiple we're involved in the United States is involved in multiple conflicts across the world right now. There's a lot of countries that are not wicked happy with us. There's a lot of financially strapped young individuals who are working in countries that don't have a lot of job opportunities, who are looking at Americans as fat cats who love eating their Red Robin and double stacks of Starbucks. So we look like good targets. So it's soft, right? What happened in this instance? This is just a friggin' mailbag of different counties getting slammed. FBI's investigating, sure. Town of Coweta, Oklahoma, no problem, had a ransomware attack. Not great. The town had offsite backups that will be used to restore the files, but the system has to be cleared of ransomware. Town's website still available, probably because their website was not part of their critical infrastructure or it was hosted somewhere else. Yeah, you could say here, the website and ability to pay your bills is maintained by a third-party vendor, so it wasn't involved in the ransom attack. Guys, these local municipalities are just trying to, get the job done. I will say this, okay? For you practitioners out there, there's no Warren Bossing say. Now, I do know that's an Avatar reference, not because of Avatar, but because that's a pretty sick card in Magic the Gathering, the Wall of Ba Sing Se. I think it's a mythic. I kind of want it. It's got a big butt. Listen, if you work in state or local municipality and you haven't really gotten the message or the memo yet that you're a target, take this as your sign. You need to run tabletop exercises for sure. All right? Also definitely worth making sure that you understand what public resources are available to you as a state, local government. Like I said, the state of South Carolina does lead many of the states in the country with their SC kick capability. Also, there's a National Guard contingent that's cyber capable for the state of South Carolina. So say what you will about South Carolina. We got cyber for days, people.
All eyes on an AI era vulnerability database. Back to NIST, which is seeking public input on an overhaul of its national vulnerability database as AI tools make it easier to find and exploit flaws at scale. The agency says rising vulnerability volume, inconsistent data quality, and demand for near real-time enrichment are exposing the limits of manual processes. Its questions focus on automation, faster information sharing, transparent AI decision-making, and the role AI should play in remediation.
Why would the Treasury be involved here? The NIST effort to revamp its vulnerability database comes a month after Trump rolled out a new federal clearinghouse overseen by Department of Treasury for sharing AI threat information between government and private sector called Gold Eagle. I'm just going to let the Gold Eagle breathe for a second, but why is the Department of Treasury involved with this? This is ugh. Again, please, anyone catch me outside to talk about my thoughts on politics. All right. For sake of time, let me tell you this. NIST has had to shelve their current NVD program because the amount of vulnerabilities being disclosed are just overwhelming them. And they basically have tapped out, like they've been put in a chokehold by early Conor McGregor. Okay. Not the knee blown out, bloated Conor McGregor. All right. They're asking people in classic NIST way, how do we fix this, my guy? What do we do here? The answer? Fight AI with AI. The only way you can move at machine speed, and I hate that term, is continuing to move at machine speed with defenses. So the answer is use AI. NIST, I love NIST, okay? I love NIST. They take a pragmatic, measure twice, cut once approach to anything. It does take longer, but this is the answer. Let's go. All right. Yippee-ki-yay, long timers. You know what? That's a good one.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, ThreatLocker. Attackers don't always bring their own tools. AI can help them find ways to misuse software already trusted by the organization. Today's tip: approval shouldn't mean unlimited access. Define what trusted applications can reach and what they can do. Learn how ThreatLocker applies this principle at threatlocker.com/CISO today.
All right. All right. Hey, Jennifer Goulet has heart NIST. I love it. I forgot we do have the emote because I do feel so strongly. Michael Vito checking in from the Philippines. Good to see you. Guys, thank you so much for being here. It is the mid-roll. Thanks to the sponsors, ThreatLocker, Anti-Siphon, and Flare. I want to say a quick shout out. A little too loud for anyone else. I can fix that, Phil. Guys, Flare is bringing the heat. I've used Flare. I've got to find out. Note to self. Was the panel at Darkroom with Jason Haddix recorded? All right, I just sent Flare. I got Flare on DMs. I just sent them a note. I got to know if that thing's available. Guys, this is in the show notes, but please do me a favor. If you're getting value from the show and you want to support the channel a bit, go check out Flare. There's a link right now in the description. Simplycyber.io/Flare will take you there. You can get a free 2-week trial. Why would you want to check this out? You can see your organization's actual real exposure. Flare has real human people that are threat intelligence analysts that penetrate cyber criminal organizations, dark web, forums, Telegram channels, and mine the data from those mediums and bring it back to you. They put it in a very easy to access interface, which allows you to get the juice, get the sauce, and get what you need very fast in order to update your current understanding of what your threat and risk levels are. They continuously monitor the dark web and criminal underground to help you detect and respond to cybersecurity faster. And you can start your free trial for 2 weeks right now and find out what Flare has found about your organization. At a minimum, you can sign up, and for $0, you can get a quick look at your own organization. Do you know how powerful that would be if you basically did this and then found something gross and then brought it to your CISO or brought it to your executive team? Guys, we really got to flip this out. Or one of your business partners. Holy crap. Last thing I want is someone externally coming to me to tell me that we have a problem internally. Simplycyber.io, Flare, check it out. Every single day of the week has a special segment. Wednesdays, as I told you, is Way Back Wednesday, where we take a piece of old tech. This one comes from my boy, Dan Reardon, a.k.a. the Haircut Fish. Great option. The Talk Boy, made famous by Kevin McAllister in Home Alone 2. Did he use it in Home Alone 1? Yeah, he used it in Home Alone 1 also in order to trick the pizza guy, in order to trick Marv and Harry into thinking that he was a criminal. Dude, Talk Boy has probably all of its success to thank of Home Alone. I don't know if they paid to be a product placement but this is way more than just a cup of Pepsi or a can of Pepsi in the background. This was like an instrumental part. Everybody that was a kid in the 90s wanted one of these things. I basically had the super uber Temu version of this thing, which basically didn't work. And Temu didn't exist. Yes, I know, but there was like, whatever, companies that made crappy versions, and I had it. Did you have a Talk Boy? Did you have a dream of using one and tricking your parents? Maybe calling the school and saying that you're sick by having your voice slowed down? I did not have a Talk Boy, but it was popular. There's the old. Oh, interesting. The original Talk Boy was actually designed as just a prop, but because it took off, they made one. Let's see how, really quick, I'm kind of curious how much this thing made. Oh, interesting. They actually made one called Talk Girl. So for those people who think DEI is a relatively new concept, not. How much money did they make? Dude, someone got a promotion. Dude, it was $25. I don't know how much it made. Anyways, that's your Way Back Wednesday. Let's finish the news.
SAP fixes 4 critical enterprise flaws. SAP released 28 new security notes and 2 updates, including fixes for 4 critical vulnerabilities. The most severe is a maximum score authorization flaw in Commerce Cloud that could allow authentication bypass and code execution. SAP also patched 2 code injection bugs in manufacturing integration and intelligence, and an unauthenticated memory corruption flaw in NetWeaver. The company says it has no evidence the flaws are actually being exploited.
All right. For the sake of time, SAP is an enterprise-grade application. If you're running SAP, you absolutely know you're running SAP. There are several critical severity vulnerabilities. You will have to coordinate with your IT counterparts, and there's probably an SAP like dedicated IT group, and you got to patch it. Really quickly, go into DJ BSEX EPSS to look up how quickly you need to flip out on your IT team. This is not even in the EPSS database yet. It says critical. My initial thoughts are, you got to patch it. You gotta patch it.
NPM malware hides its servers in Ethereum. Sonatype Research Labs found 6 malicious NPM packages that read command and control addresses from a transaction in an attacker-controlled Ethereum wallet. 3 were legitimate packages whose publishing accounts appear to have been hijacked, while the other 3 were built with the malware already inside. Sonatype linked the wallet and similar tactics to activity associated with the North Korea-linked contagious interview campaign.
All right. So there's 2 things here. Number one, the blockchain is being used for command and control. The blockchain is being used for C2, which is command and control. C2, or command and control, is used by threat actors in post-exploitation, meaning they have taken over your machine in order to push additional payloads down, exfiltrate data out, give commands to the infected host to like do whatever, move laterally, wipe itself, take a screenshot, whatever. Okay. So that coordination, that communication has to be done from somewhere. Threat actors can do anything. They can use anything, compromise web servers, DNS, Telegram, Signal, Twitter, and they can use the blockchain. So don't, for all you crypto bros in chat, don't lose your mind that your blockchain's been hijacked. It's just another vehicle that is on the internet. So if you see compromised hosts talking to the blockchain, especially if it's like with some, consistent timing pattern, chances are that endpoint is compromised. NPM, now we're talking open source software supply chain compromises where you've ingested an NPM package into your environment, but upstream it's been compromised. This is super common right now and so hot
That Hansel's so hot right now.
that I would say if you're a CISO, you should be thinking about how you're protecting your organization from software supply chain attacks. How are you educating your developers in your environment? How are you educating your researchers in your environment? How are third-party applications that you're dependent on letting you know whether or not what they're doing to make sure that they're protected from these things? If you're an active developer or an engineer and you're using NPM packages, you should be mindful of this. Here we go. This is what obfuscated code looks like. They're using UU encoding and not very pretty type scripting, right? So like most developers will use tab indentation and smart variable names to make it easy to read. This is like 100% a telltale sign of obfuscation. And it's North Korea doing it. There you go. If you're interested in checking your environment, should look for the 6 infected npm packages, which is, by the way, looking for the 6 npm packages. That's just addressing the symptoms. Okay, you can fix those 6 npm packages today with an easy button, right? Just pretend. But tomorrow it's different npm packages. A week from now it's pie, right? That you need a strategic programmatic approach to handling open source supply chain software risks, not necessarily putting a band-aid over these 6 npm packages. You still should fix the problem, but you gotta fix the bigger issue, right? Like the equivalent of this, as I enjoy to make metaphors and come up with them on the fly here, it's like having a gopher in your yard digging holes, right? If you go out and just fill the hole with dirt, no problem. You've got no more holes in your yard. But tomorrow you're going to have another hole because you didn't actually get rid of the gopher. You have to capture the gopher and throw him over the fence in your neighbor's yard so it's not your problem anymore. I'm just kidding. Ha! Like my neighbor's over there. But in reality, you don't want to just make this someone else's problem, but you get the point. You'll continue to have holes until you address the problem. Just like you'll continue to have exposures in your environment if you don't have a programmatic open source software supply chain strategy. Woo! Did anyone else see the transitions? That was butter.
Seva cyber attack snarls European shipments. A cyber attack on French logistics giant Seva reportedly disrupted 8 European warehouses, delaying shipments for retailers including Bol, De Bijenkorf, and Ace & Tate. Valve also warned European Steam hardware customers that names, contact details, addresses, and order information may have been exposed through Seva's systems. Seva has not publicly disclosed the attack, and its full scope and the identity of the attackers remain unknown.
What, bro? What? Hold on. That's like oh, and by the way, we're just gonna throw this in. So Seva is a European freight company that got compromised, which could be quite devastating. Back in the day, not back in the day, I'm so old. Like in 2021, I believe it was 2021. Let's fact check me after. Russia attacked Ukraine. They attacked the MyDoc accounting software and essentially launched a wiper virus. It was called NotPetya. I think it was 2021. Let's go back in the machine and look. NotPetya year. 2017. Oh my God, what a zero I am. Not even close. 2017, NotPetya drops. Russia wipes a ton of Ukrainian businesses, including Maersk, which was like a global shipping company, and they suffered like a $1.4 billion in damages. So attacking these logistics companies can be quite serious, right? If they don't know where to take the milk crate off the boat and where to put it, if they don't know what truck to put it on, if the truck doesn't know where to deliver it, it's a problem. In fact, DJ Bisek and Ben Wilkins are our community in residency logistics people. So ask them, or if they're in chat right now and they have opinions, let us know. But yeah, Seva got hit. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. It did cause shipping delays, so they'll lose some money on that. The one weird thing is that like Steam is somehow impacted. I don't know. I don't know if it's because Steam has handhelds as well, but I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. It's just it's just a company that got hit with a ransom attack essentially, and they're dealing with the fallout. Sounds like they did have some pretty good network segmentation because only part of its business was screwed, but
Mozilla rotates Firefox signing key after exposure. Mozilla replaced a GPG key used to sign some Firefox and Thunderbird releases after an unencrypted copy was accidentally committed to a private GitHub repository. The key covered Linux tarballs, RPM packages, and checksum files, but Mozilla found no evidence of unauthorized access and says the repository was limited to a small group already authorized to use it. Most users shouldn't have to take action, though people who manually verify signatures or install Firefox through some RPM packages may need that new key.
Okay. So like they said in the story, most people won't have to do anything. So if you use Mozilla Firefox, this matters to you. If you do not, this does not matter to you. Most people just use the normal install. The update's going to update itself. It's good to go. In fact, it's fine, right? They did say if you build your own, roll your own Firefox for whatever reason, you'll have to do this manually. Not much here, okay? Here's the important thing for people to know, all right? This is all about asymmetric key encryption, okay? PKI, public key infrastructure. Cryptography is my least favorite of all the domains within cybersecurity. I've made no bones about it. But listen, basically, here's a quick lesson for everybody, okay? It doesn't matter what level you are in your career. This is a quick lesson for everybody. Symmetric encryption is faster, takes less processing power, but it's weaker because there's only one key. Meaning if the key gets compromised, anyone can unlock anything. Anything backwards can be unlocked. And you can't really do non-repudiation because, if anyone can get the key, right? But it's great because it's lower processing, lower bandwidth. So it's perfect for high volumes of network traffic. Okay, hold on. Asymmetric encryption, or PKI, has a public key and a private key, and it's way more math intense and way more process intense, but it is significantly more secure than symmetric encryption for multiple reasons, and I'm not just talking about the math. Number one, anything you sign with your private key can be decrypted with your public key, right? So that means you can affirm that you're the one who signed it, right? Like I send Phil Stafford a note and say like, oh, hey, whatever, here, I want you to fly here and I'll pay for you, right? And I sign it. Phil can have confidence that I sent that email because it's signed with my private key. Same thing goes with sending a message, right? So if I send Phil a message and I encrypt it with his public key, I know only Phil Stafford can read it because only Phil Stafford has the private key. All right. So, but it's much more complicated because there's two keys. You have to publish the public key. You have to protect the private key, all these things. Right. And when one of them gets compromised, just like in this Firefox story, there's a maintenance issue of having to reissue new keys, revoke exposed keys, do all the things. All right. So it's more problematic. Going back to the story about the symmetric key being great for high volume network traffic, what actually happens when you do a TLS connection and make a network connection, initially there's a PKI exchange, right? That's why websites have certificates, right? The security certificate, that's what's going on. you establish a PKI, God damn it, a PKI communication vehicle, right? Essentially an encrypted communication vehicle. And then you transmit a symmetric key. And then the rest of your network connection, the rest of your whole conversation is using that symmetric key, that one-time symmetric key. So that's the benefit of using both in that instance. TLDR, Mozilla got an exposure. Their private key got compromised effectively. They've revoked that key and had to issue new keys. PKI is a maintenance nightmare, which is why it isn't done wholesale all the time. It's difficult, but it is good. That is your more you know on asymmetric and symmetric encryption. Let's go.
Adobe patches Cold Fusion and Campaign Classic.
Bro,
Adobe patched more than 50 vulnerabilities across its products, including Priority 1 updates for Cold Fusion and Campaign Classic. Cold Fusion's 15 fixes include 3 critical flaws that could enable code execution or denial of service, while Campaign Classic received fixes for 3 critical code execution bugs. Adobe says the good news, it's not aware of any exploitation in the wilds.
Here's the deal. If you're using Cold Fusion in your environment, yes, you got to patch it. You got to patch it. Second, you may want to consider migrating. Like Cold Fusion came out in 1995. I had like this like summer internship janky thing. My first ever real paid office job. And I was using Cold Fusion, right? Like that's what's up. I was like doing some maintenance or whatever. Dude, it's old tech, right? I think Cold Fusion supports Adobe Flash or not Flash, like Action Script. Okay. Like, which was like a terrible. Daniel Lowry probably remembers the olds in chat. Like, Action Script was like a veritable nightmare because it was like very, very threat actors and hackers loved Action Script. If you have Cold Fusion, patch it. That's it. All right. Thank you so very much for being here. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere because we've got Cyber Career Hotline coming up. Hot. Spicy. This has been Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Be sure to go get your fees for this episode. But don't go anywhere because we got that Cyber Career Hotline. Jay, are you ready? Oh, hold on. Yep. All right. So just coming in wicked hot is my man, special appearance, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. This dude is typically on Thursdays, but he's so hungry for some Simply Cyber community and he can't do tomorrow that he's like, all right, Jerry, let me take Wednesday. I gotta scratch the itch. You know, that Dave Chappelle character? That's James McQuiggan right now. He's thirsty for some Simply Cyber community. So I'm going to let him have it. Guys, get your questions queued up. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Have a phenomenal day. Thank you for your time and stay secure. Or until next time, stay secure is how I say it. James, you have the comm.
I'm James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. This is the Cyber Career Hotline. If you're building a career in cybersecurity, this show is for you. Let's get into it.
Hello there.
All right. I hit it too soon. I know. Well, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are in the world. I'm excited to be here this morning. I'm literally just coming off the heels from presenting to the ISC2 Central Florida chapter. I did a presentation, the first presentation that has actually been 6 months in the works, where I did a presentation on how to riff-proof your career, how to, there is no Career Patch Tuesday, using incident response for your career and getting, proof, that riff proof essentially. Now, you're probably thinking, oh man, I can't believe I missed it. You guys have to watch Jerry. Jerry is fine. You got to watch Jerry's show. because I'm going to be doing this show at Deadwood. I've just found out last night I get to do the presentation at ISC2 Tampa in September. I'm doing it at B-Sides Orlando here in Tampa, in Orlando. I'm doing it at CyberSecCon in September. So I'm going to be doing it in a bunch of places. So maybe in the event that there's a presentation that falls through, I might be able to do it at Simply CyberCon. We'll see. It's Jerry's show, but we'll see how it goes. I'm traveling tonight, actually. I'm traveling over to the UK, going to a family wedding this weekend, and very excited for that. So I couldn't do the show tomorrow, and I was feeling bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to miss out from doing this, because this is such a treat and an honor to work with all of you. Oh, my live chat's not loaded. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't run my script. I actually have a script that sits there. Hang on, let me see. Let me just hide that. There we go. I've got the script up here next to me, so I have the chat up next to me. Thanks, Jerry. So I didn't want to miss out, so I'm here. So drop your questions in chat. I'm starting to go, oh, well, hang on a second. We don't have the cool music playing. Let's get my minimal house music playing here. And there we go. Nice funky low beat in the background. Oh, hey, Node Ripper. Whoa, hang on. Not really a question, but the interview I was asking about over the last 2 weeks. I got the job. I came in like a wrecking ball. You go, Node Ripper. Proud of you. That is awesome. Fantastic. You know, I got to do it again. I came in like a wrecking ball. I know Jerry only does it once, but I'm going to give it to you twice, because I know we went 2 days on that. So congrats on that, Node Ripper. Excited to hear that. Keep us posted on how it goes. Let's see, looking through the chat. Luke's asking about Secure West Virginia talk. No, I won't be going to Secure West Virginia this year, sadly. Long story on that one. Yep, got the wrecking ball. See all the wrecking ball emojis coming through on that. That is so cool. Congrats on that. Lots of wrecking ball from everybody, but it's good to see. I saw Bruce and Hacks out there. I've seen Marcus Kyler out there. Good to see you guys. Space Tacos, of course, the Node Ripper, my Roswell, UK. You know, Bristol's only 2.5 hour train ride. I'm giving you a hard time. I will be. The other reason I'm going over to England is my AI Dark Side talk got accepted for B-Sides Bristol, so I will be going over there to present that. But yeah, definitely drop your questions in chat. Be glad to hear. Literally got back Monday from Las Vegas, where it was 10 days of networking and some sessions, emceeing, running around. I did a presentation on public speaking. I did a workshop. It was about an hour and 50 minutes. Time flew by. Had about 10 people there. And that was really, really cool overall. Oh, Jerry's giving me he's giving me the link for the chat. Copy. Let's see. Now maybe I might be able to fix this. There we go. Let's see if this, there we go. Click OK. Show it. Let's see if it pops up. Hey, there it is. Woo! Thanks, Jerry. So now we got the chat, got the Cyber Career Hotline in there. So again, drop your questions. Let me know what you're interested in knowing. Oh, there's Shields and Slay. I got to tell you, now's my chance to talk about Shields and Slay. Such an awesome host in taking care of so many people. Very well deserving of the Member of the Week last week. And running Jerry and me and Michelle around, taking us where we need to go. Allowed me on the floor. I've got my copies of a megabyte of jokes, but ran us over to the other side of town so we could get Michelle and I could get our books overall. But it was, she was an awesome host. And the cool thing is I get to see her again in about 2 weeks when I go back to Vegas for the SAN Secure the Human conference with my friends over at the Cybermaniacs, who I'm now working with as well. So we had Hacker Van. Yep, we did have the Hacker Van overall. Let's see. Oh, did somebody drop a question in there? Oh, here we go. BB Banda 7. I got 11 years in IT, 3 years with a focus on cybersecurity. Still can't land an interview, or if I do land the interviews, I can't secure the job. Have any advice on what I could do? You know, this is coming from my own experience. I've got 25 years in IT, 17 years working in cybersecurity, almost 20 years. I had somebody, a network connection that worked inside of the company that I interviewed for. And I had 3 interviews and I thought, okay, I got this. This will be great. It'll be fun working for this company. I thought it was a slam dunk and I didn't get the role, which was extremely disheartening and frustrating. So my advice has always been, work with the people to get inside the role. And I didn't get that particular position. And that's okay. So one of the things that you can do is, if you don't get a position and you're talking with the HR, see if they'll give you some feedback. Find out what it was that was missing that you didn't get the job. Was it because I didn't know somebody? They won't admit that. Was it, the way you answered some questions? Was it, you needed to have more information about, XYZ topic on whatever question? It could be that you didn't ask any questions. So for me, when it came down to it, with regards to, not getting particular positions, reaching out to HR, trying to get some feedback, learn from that, and then move on. It sounds like, you've got the experience. If you've had 3 years of a focus on cybersecurity, if you're still trying to get that first job, networking goes a long way, trying to get feedback post-interview and why you didn't get the job so you can improve to work to try to get the next one. That would kind of be my advice regarding that, moving on. Phil Stafford, I joined the Cognitive Security Institute because you mentioned it. I'm loving their content. Yeah, the Cognitive Security Institute, they had a conference on Thursday, Friday last week, and I was their MC on the Thursday. And that's where I got to see Clifford Stoll for the second time present on a different topic. Just a, really interesting character, very eccentric all around. But the Cognitive Security Institute is really, is really fascinating because they do a deeper dive into security awareness. They're looking at the human. They're looking at our cognitive biases that we have, and how to secure that. Because now we're dealing with cognitive warfare, not only from nation states, but also internally, but how we are as humans, the way we think and the way our biases goes, it goes a long way. And so the Cognitive Security Institute is focused on that, on looking at, different ways attacks occur. How do we defend against it? How do we keep educating humans so that we don't fall victim to these smarter attacks? Because even if you look at phishing as it's evolved over the last 25, 30 years, and it continues to do that. And now using videos, fake websites, and everything else, that becomes a big concern. Nacho cheese and chips. I do love me some good nachos. When asked, tell me about yourself. What are some things I should mention about myself when talking to interviewers or even other people in the industry? Fantastic question. There are no wrong questions to ask in this forum. Bowtie Security Guy. He's on YouTube. Let's see if we can find him. Let me answer your question first real quick. Let's go here. And, I got to open up a browser window. And I've got to capture it. Oh, good. It's captured. Okay. So if we go to YouTube, and if I can spell, out to YouTube, and we go Bowtie Security Guy. There he is. This guy has a whole slew of videos when it comes to interviews, when it comes to trying to get a job and everything else. Plus he interviews everybody. Jerry's also got a video as well. I know that much. Let me bring his page up. I go to simplycyber.io, go to YouTube, and we see Jerry's videos as well. And under his videos, he has I know he had a video a while ago. I mean, Jerry's got a video for everything, right? But he had a video a while ago. He's probably going to drop the link for me in there. But dealing with interviewing and what you need to prepare overall. But to answer your question, essentially, think of the STAR method. And what I mean by that is situation, task, action, result. STAR. Give yourself a 30-second review, so to speak, with regards to when you talk about yourself. There it is. Jerry just dropped it for me in our Discord. Copy the link. Let me paste it here. This is something you can check out. Pause that. I'll drop it in chat as well. But the 3 questions every cybersecurity interview will ask. Definitely check that out. And I probably just did Inception on this, didn't I? Yep. There we go. Nope. Let me drop the link in chat here for you all so you can have it. But you want to think of STAR. As I said, situation, task, action, result. I've been working in cybersecurity now for over 25 years. I've been working as a virtual CISO, securing organizations and helping take an organization that, only met half of the CIS 18. And over a period of a year, we were able to take that to a 90% completion rate of the CIS 18. So who I am, what task I did, or what tasks I do, what action I did, and what was the result. And essentially, if you can put that in about a minute on who you are. I'm James McQuiggan. I'm a cybersecurity cybersecurity consultant. I have my own business, Apparent Security, working to help organizations reduce risk, either as a VCISO or as a strategic advisor, wanting to help you reduce the risk of a cyber attack for your organization. I've done that, and I've done this with, 10 different organizations already and high completion rates. Figure out what that is. If you're unsure, one of the cool things to do is drop into Claude or Gemini or one of those and give it your resume and go create a STAR statement for me, and you may have it'll probably know what it is based on the context, but go through and have it create that STAR statement for you. And then you've got that. Maybe you tweak it, you adjust it to fit your voice and your style, but that'll go a long way based off your resume, based off of leveraging a little AI to be able to create that STAR statement to make yourself that much more, be able to stand out that much more overall. So awesome question. Thank you very much. Nacho Cheese. Let's see, keep going through, looking through the questions. And also this community is the best. Seeing everybody last Friday at the DEF CON Simply Cyber Hack Smarter community was fantastic. And it was my honor, my pleasure to give out a number of the Megabyte of Joke books as well. Jerry said he's going to be buying 100 copies from us, or he's getting 100 copies. But either way, we're going to have 100 copies of Megabyte of Jokes, and Michelle and I will sign them for you at Simply CyberCon. So real excited for that. The other thing I just wanted to see is Jerry doing I sadly didn't catch the end of the show, but I was curious if he's doing a fireside chat tomorrow. It doesn't look like it, or it's not set up. But Jerry does this fireside chats every Thursday. I don't think he's got one going on this week, but that's fine. I'm singing my own tunes, I know. Looking through the questions here that you guys folks have. But anyway, as I was saying, everybody supports everybody here. This is one of the great things about this community, the support, the inclusion, the empowerment, making sure that we're all helping each other out is fantastic. Node Ripper goes, a good question I found out to ask was, what is someone in my role doing to stand out? Or what is someone in my role that has already been promoted doing differently? Brilliant. That is a fantastic question. That's an excellent question to ask. So going back to Nacho Cheese, there's something you may want to ask in your next interview. You always want to, look at what your roadmap is. As somebody else, the person that, am I backfilling a role? What did they do to get promoted? What does that roadmap look like? There's a couple of ways you could look at it. People might thinking, oh, he's already trying to get out of this job. No, I want to plan my my 60, 90 day plan. I want to know what it, is this a role that I could do forever, or is this a role that I'm going to do for a year and then I'm going to be able to move on within your company, kind of maybe even follow that next person, but understanding what that roadmap is overall. That's an awesome question. Good stuff. I'm looking through chat here, seeing what everybody else has got going on, seeing what folks are chatting about. Any other question? Oh, nope, that one. There we go. Marcus Kyler's on the most recent episode of Clear Tech Loop podcast. Way to go, Phil. Throw a Q in front of it so it catches my eye. Oh, here we go. I like this. Michael Nolan says, I got a megabit of jokes. The wife loves it when I pull it out. I'm guessing you're referring to a megabyte there, Michael. So there you go. Ember Elk says, if you use AI to build a portfolio project, how do you note that, or should you? Depends on how you're using AI. Or using it to fix your grammar, or using it to do research for you. If it's a portfolio project, you're going to cite it as a resource. And depending on what if it's for a journal, or whether it's for school, or it's for an organization, there's going to be some sort of citing reference. Figure out what that is, either within your organization, with your school, with whatever the journal is. There are citing methodology for using AI if you've done it for research. One of the things for me is I always look at the source. Where did ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude get that information from? And then I go look at the source. ChatGPT may have given it to me in a simpler, quicker, easy to read format, but I'm going to go look at the source and read it myself and kind of run through it and assimilate it in my head, and then put it out in the into the paper, into the article, into whatever it made, that project that you're working on. And then for that source, then I can either cite the original website, or I can cite the website and how I found it with using AI as well. As Phil says, yeah, that's dependent on the role and the interviewer. Let's bring that up. How 6 months ago, I had people deflate when I told them I used AI assisted engineering, but now it's explicitly in the job description. There you go. Mara Levy's here. Hello, Mara. Good to see you. And Authentically Cyber. Hello, Kathy. Kyle coming through. Have you had any success tracing a threat past a proxy service? I tried Traceroute, but 100% not sure of the results. In a word, no. I haven't traced threats past proxy services, but I have done VPN connections past proxy services. And usually when I'm going through on the VPN, a lot of the time I believe that gets masked on that proxy. So this is where hopefully the community comes through for you on Kyle, because I haven't touched a network config or done networking troubleshooting like enterprise proxies, VPNs, dealing with layer 2 and 3 switches and all that good stuff in about, 15 years now. It's been a while. Hopefully, what I might try to do, because it's what I do every day, ask Gemini, see if Gemini's got an answer for you. Kind of give it the scenario without giving any sensitive information over as well. Mara Levy, yeah, everybody's saying hi. This is an awesome community. Cool. How are we doing on time? What do we got? Where are we at? 9:24. Okay, so we got about 5 minutes left here. Trying to think. Yeah, so going to B-Sides Bristol, doing AI Side Dark Side. Then I'm coming home, and then I go to the Sand, Secure the Human, back to Vegas. Woohoo! And then I'm home. We get Labor Day, and then I'm going to Houston, going to Tampa, got B-Sides Orlando, and then it's October. I mean, the time is just flying. Myra's asking, advice for an annual review. Mine is coming up. All right. Awesome. Your annual review is always important. For me, a lot of that came down to looking back. Okay, what were my goals for the past year? What were the organization's requirements that I had to complete? Did I meet those? Did I surpass those? What other things did I do that helped educate myself to help the organization? What else did I do? Going to Simply CyberCon, I gave a presentation. Great. How does that How does that help everybody else? How does that help the organization? Well, now I can help represent the organization, in doing presentations. Then looking at the year ahead, what objectives do you want to accomplish over the next year? What is it the company wants you to do as well? Go in there with questions on what advancements are there available for you? What's the roadmap look like for you for the next year? What does the organization or your management see for you in your role? Is this something that you're going to be standing still for the next year? Is there any type of advancement, leveling up, whatever that may be? But also it's a great opportunity to get an idea of also what's going on in the organization. Where's the organization going? What kind of information can they share overall? That goes a long way. FedEx is here. Good to see you, FedEx. It feels like it's been forever, buddy. Because it was FedEx in the ISC2 Central Florida chapter where I just did that presentation. So I'm trying to think I did the public speaking workshop at DEF CON on Sunday, and that was very well received. That was a lot of fun to do. But it was fun being at the Noob Village, and that was a very active village or community where you had people coming in and learning how to do soldering. You had people coming in, meeting with the different sponsors that were there. There were workshops, there were presentations, a lot of great stuff that was happening in that village. And Simply Cyber was a sponsor of it as well. But again, living up to that support, inclusion, empowerment mantra foundation that we have here at Simply Cyber. And, it goes a long way in trying to help build up other people, trying to make them feel, hey, you belong here. Don't let anyone else tell you any different. Kyle's sharing some advice. I just had mine. I always ask my boss how I can continue to improve myself. Vision of the future, and where does he see me fitting in that? Exactly. How do I keep playing a role with the organization? What can I do to improve? What can improvements be done to help me? That kind of stuff overall. That's all critical to help you grow within your organization as well. Continue scrolling through. Yep. Code Brew goes, I'm like 3 years overdue for a yearly review. Yeah, that's kind of one of those telltale signs that either they're just liking what everybody's doing and keeping everybody status quo. Maybe, and if that's the case, if you're looking, have a meeting with your boss and go, hey, look, I haven't had a review in 3 years. I'd like to kind of know, I guess I'm doing okay because I still got a job, but what area, maybe if you're looking to move up or looking to laterally move or go to another department, that might be an opportunity to be able to have that conversation with them. Always watching from Costa Rica every morning. All right, Carlos Martinez, welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Taking my SC200 in a month. Any tips? And I just remembered. Any tips on the SC200? Is that a cert that I'm not working? Oh, is that a Microsoft cert? Oh, is Microsoft Certified Security Operations Analyst Associate. So I've never taken that particular cert, Carlos. So my tips are going to be more around general test taking tips for you with regards to that. There's always going to be a wrong answer. There's always going to be two answers that are close, and there's going to be one answer that's the actual answer. If it's a short question, if it's a simple question, it'll be a simple answer. If it's a complex question, it'll have a complex answer to it. As you're going through the exam, depending on the exam, usually the tip was, if you don't know the question, move on to the next one until you do know the answer. And that you can, you read the question, you read the options, the choices, then you read the question again, and then you answer it. And if you can't answer it, move on to the next one. And I know with some of these tests, if you move on, you have to answer it and then you can move on, which I think is horrible. You should be able to move on and move back on the questions. But if you have the ability to be able to move through the test and then go back, because sometimes you may get a question later on that triggers, oh, that's the answer to another one, or remember something. But if you can, if you read the question, read the choices, read the question again, and then answer. And if you can't answer or you're not sure, move on to the next one. When I did my CISSP years and years ago, it took me to question 20 before I actually stopped and went, oh, I know the answer for this one, and here it is. Yeah. And that CISSP was kind of crazy overall. So good luck with that. Let us know how you do with regards to the test. Taking practice tests is a long way, especially on the different concepts. Once you've got a concept down pat, then move on to the next concept, making sure you've got that. If you're scoring, I think they make the practice tests harder. So if you're scoring more than 75 or 80%, usually you're doing good with regards to that overall. Cool. All righty, we are at the bottom of the hour. It's 9:31 already. Holy cow. We are in the middle of the week. We had the Way Back Wednesday today. I didn't get to see what it was, but my Way Back Wednesday goes back to last week at DEF CON. It was a lot of fun. Very enjoyable. Kind of sad to leave Vegas, even though I'm going back in 2 weeks. But I know I am really, really looking forward to Simply CyberCon now, especially being able to see as many of the community folks out there. It's going to be a lot of fun overall. So for me, hope you all have an awesome Wednesday. Have a fantastic week. Hopefully I'll be on, I think Friday afternoon, because in the UK, when we do the panel at 9, that's 2:00 in the afternoon. Roswell, UK, I know will probably back me up on that, but I might be available at 2 on Friday. We'll have to see how good the internet is. Hopefully I can join the panel. So we'll see how it goes. Otherwise, have yourself an awesome week. And thanks for stopping by. We'll see you all soon.